Hey guys, what's up? If you saw the thumbnail, then yes, you clicked on the right video. Winter's Empty Mask. It is still a demo, but they upgraded it. I mean, updated. No, I'll say upgraded too, because look at this different art style and everything. So, let's just jump right into it. Still the same sound effects? Okay. The world is so noisy. See, look at this. This is all new. People walk around me making all kinds of noises. Their footsteps, the phones and toys they carry, their voices when speaking. They walk next to me without paying me any attention, as if I was invisible or we were in separate worlds. Each one continues with its own existence, following its way like drops of water in a river, swept away by the current. Meanwhile, I see them coming and going with the passage of time, without doing anything. Ugh, it's a fly in here. Despite being in a park, I am not playing. I feel no desire to do it. It's just tiresome. So instead, I'm sitting on a bench, waiting for someone to come for me. My blood-red eyes have an empty look, as if they belong to a doll. All of me said that I am a doll, and not a living being. Yuki is a doll unable to smile, frozen with an eternally empty expression on her face. Changing that is impossible, because nothing in this world could inspire an emotion in me. Trying to find it only makes me tired. My legs get tired of walking, my hands of fighting and carrying dead weight, my mind of thinking ideas that deliver nothing in the end. Just a waste. That's why I prefer doing nothing instead. Just stay seated, watching people silently come and go. Though to my eyes, they look more like shadows. I cannot distinguish a single face between them. They all are the same. The same face, the same shape, the same voice, the same color. It was as if everyone were a flat, gray silhouette with just the sizes and shapes slightly changing. With a face that I cannot distinguish or feel is worth remembering, there is nothing inside of them. Or perhaps it is the opposite, and I am the one who does not have a face, but a mask, and that is why I cannot see others. Their personalities are there. It is only that I cannot understand them. They belong to another dimension, a world I don't know how to enter. Yuki is a doll. From my point of view, they are shadows. But when they look at me, surely they see a doll without a face. Who would buy such an ugly doll like as this one? I know I wouldn't. Time passes and it's already getting dark. One of my family's maid offers me her hand and tells me it's time to return home. The person who I was waiting for didn't appear. I'll just have to come back tomorrow. This would be the 26th day that this happened. Ojo-sama, let's go back home, she says without any emotion but in a respectful way. Clearly, she did not care for me. She only looked after me because those were her orders. Yes, I say coldly. The truth is, I did not want to return to my house, but I have no other place to go. It is more comfortable than staying here. Momoji, the city where I live, called like that because of the falling leaves in autumn. Every year they fall and create a beautiful scene that draws visitors from miles around. Even people from outside the country come to visit and see the leaves fall. There are those who even think it compares to the spring festival, when the cherry blossoms bloom. To my eyes, the leaves have no color, and seeing them fall is nothing special. It's almost the same as watching the rain or snow. Just an occurrence, something that happens for mundane reasons. But I have to confess, though, that I have sometimes stayed for hours watching them fall, wherever it's leaves, rain, or snow. Simply because it was less boring than watching a static object. Although murders, assaults, theft, burglaries, and other crimes happen often in Momoji, the city has a strong economy and the population only grows every year. I forget if that was in the old demo. Now it is autumn, and I watch the leaves falling silently with elegance, while children play in the park and their mothers chit-chat nearby. A gust of wind suddenly blows, moving leaves and rustling my hair, short and black. That day I was wearing a white dress. Okay, I feel like I remember this. My empty eyes, like those of a doll, looked to the front with a face devoid of emotion. I looked at the children playing because they were before me, not because I wish to play with them. You should let it grow. Suddenly, a voice takes me out of my thoughts. He stands right in front of me, a boy with black hair and a small smile on his face. I was like blackish brown. Hey, I remember him. From the old demo, he was the little kid. Your hair, you should let it grow, he says with joy, as if we were already friends. No, I don't like long hair, I answer without even looking at his face and using the coldest and roughest voice I had. I wanted him to know that his presence was not appreciated. There was a brief silence. He doesn't stop blocking my vision. Whenever I move my eyes, he also moved to block me again. It is a shame. You would look very pretty. I like girls with long hair better. He again spoke with confidence, completely ignoring my hints. Why would I care about that? Why would I care about what a flat shadow like him likes or dislikes? Just go back to your world, pretend I don't exist, as if I was an ugly toy abandoned on the bench. This time, I do not answer. I just remain quiet, waiting for him to get bored and go away. But strangely, that does not happen. He keeps staring at me, waiting for a reaction. You don't have any toys? He said, looking at my empty hands. Suddenly, he smiles. If you want, I could lend you mine. Enough, I say with a low voice. Seems that he didn't hear me and puts on a confused expression. Why don't you just leave me alone? I angrily said. The boy is surprised and stays silent. His expression turns serious, and I hope that he may leave in the next second, but instead, you are always alone. I worry about you. Hearing that makes me feel cold. My very soul freezes at the sound of his words. It didn't feel like he was lying or joking. The way he said it sounded so genuine, filled with worry and kindness. The boy's answer is very strange. What was that? An anomaly in this world without color? If I myself do not care for what could happen to me, why should he care? Doesn't that make you sad? Don't you want to make friends? He says, with a serious and honest tone. No, I like to be alone. My answer is cold, but I feel a little confused. This is the first time anyone said something like that to me. Never before had a shadow stepped out of its own world to reach me by its own will. That's okay, but I think you would have more fun if you had a friend. Don't be shy, not everyone is bad. He ends with a kind smile, very pure. I feel something move inside of me. I wasn't happy by any means. I was afraid. This anomaly was scary. It felt like it could shatter my world. Again, I do not answer. This time my face had an expression on it. I was acting shy. I stayed quiet not because I wanted him to get bored and leave, but because I could not answer honestly. I just didn't know how. The child suddenly hears something. He turns and waves his hand at a woman who appeared to be his mother. Well, I have to go. I have to come to play at this park, just in case someday you want to talk. Oh, and by the way, my name is Tanaka Ichiro. He gave me one last smile, and with that, he begins to walk away, without even receiving the answer from me. None of the two could have known it, but that would be my last day in that park. Do I? Oh, no, just gonna let it do its thing. I'm actually liking it so far. Really liking this demo. It's a whole lot different. The feel of it's all way different. And like this creepy music. I can't recall if this was in the old video. I might have to go back and watch it. Time passed as usual with nothing worthy of notice. It was getting dark. Whoa. Okay, yeah, that is definitely new. Ooh, creepy. Not gonna lie. It was getting dark. I saw how slowly people were leaving the park until it was completely empty. And then there's that guy. Are you alone? Said an unknown man, leaning so I could see his eyes. I nodded, but that was a lie. There was always someone watching me. What's your name? Asked with fiend friendliness, so fake it was almost laughable. Kurosawa Yuki. I answer, showing no emotion, nor fear, sadness, or distrust. Come with me. I'll help you find your mother. Then said with a nasty smile at the same time he pulls my hand. Without any resistance, I follow. The man leads me through unknown streets. As we walked, he was talking about how he would help me to find with my parents and that I shouldn't be afraid. But I do not listen to him. It was boring. For nearly 40 minutes, we walked along dark and unknown streets until finally he stops at a dead end. Dirty, with a foul stench in the air and full of trash bags. Some of them appeared to have been opened by an animal or a bum to check its contents. The expression of the man, who up to now had only shown fiend kindness, changes, becoming aggressive and dominant. A man with short black hair, no mustache or beard, and wearing casual clothes, just a gray shadow like the rest. I'd feel like changing up somewhere too, man. Hey Yuki-chan, how before we find your parents, we have a little fun? Says the man with a nasty look, his eyes set on me. No, I mean, we should have fun. Let's have fun, Yuki, because it may be the last time. As soon as he finished talking, he puts his hand over me and starts to undress me. As a reflex, I move my hands to stop his. It was unpleasant, disgusting. It already bothered me to be touched, and the way he did it only made me feel even more uncomfortable. But even then, I couldn't show an emotion in my face. The strength of the man overpowers me with ease. There was no struggle. My small hands were no match for his. His expression shows great lust, a hunger, a huge desire to touch me. What? Are you not going to cry? Suddenly asked the man drowned in lust. I just deny it, shaking my head. My response seems to irritate him. He slaps my face. A sound echoes in the entire alleyway. What a cruel shadow, but still, boring. My left cheek turns red. I slightly hold it, out of reflex, with showing any pain. Still don't want to cry? Said with a dominant and mocking voice. This time I do not respond, afraid of a second slap, or perhaps more because of discomfort more than fear. Even if unwanted pain was a fundamental part of life, I didn't hate it. It's only that I find it unpleasant and would rather avoid it if possible. Okay, I'm just gonna save here. My lack of response was not well taken. However, the man suddenly smiles with complete security. Yeah, because I remember he could summon fire or something. He then made a flame appear on his hand. The fire was lightly floating, about a centimeter above the skin of his palm. He smiles confident, knowing that he could cause me a lot of pain with the power he had, an inhuman power. If I burned your face, I'm sure I would get some beautiful tears out of you. A disgusting threat, but very real. But you can't. I answer, lacking emotion, simply bored even when facing the promise of torture. And why is that? He asked, so showing a nasty and playful smile on his face. Because if you did that, I would become ugly, and you wouldn't want to touch me anymore. My answer is too serious and logical for how tense the situation was, as if it was a joke. The man suddenly starts laughing loudly. I see now, I see. You're a girl with a mental retardation, and your parents abandoned you in that park. How pitiable. What a disgusting image he has made of me, I thought. But I didn't mind. What a shadow thought of me is of no importance. Okay, water. Ignoring my feelings or the pain it would cause me, he simply continued his plans, looking for his own pleasure at the expense of my welfare. So nasty, so gross. The shadow was so disgusting that I cannot begin to describe it. I just wanted all this over. Waited patently for it. Patently? I don't know. It was then when I saw the sign, much sooner than I expected, the moment in which my attacker was more distracted and vulnerable. In an instant, I removed a long metal needle that was hidden within my own flesh and bury it in the neck of my attacker. Naturally, I point the most valuable vein in the neck. There was no way it could have worked. I knew he would notice and stop me in time. At least, that would have been the case, had he been paying attention. Now, he was lost in his own world, and in mine was going to die. Immediately, the wound starts to bleed. All the precious red blood is pouring out of his body, covering us both. The white and clean face was now covered by blood, a doll's inexpressive face stained by blood. As a reflex, he tries to push me away. We barely move, just enough to separate us. Are they going to show us that? Now he doesn't look as happy or dominant, but furious. He hated me and cursed me with his eyes, but that would hardly produce anything in me. Hey, wow. Well, let me just look at that. That's actually not bad. Damn bitch! Exclaims with anger, knowing that he was going to die. Who are you? He asks just before his body collapses, falling flat to the ground and leaving a large puddle of blood. My name is Aketsu Yuki, I say coldly, while watching his eyes lose their light. A doll, watching the final moment of a life, feeling nothing for it, but grateful that the unpleasant feeling had finally stopped. His last breath passes quickly, and in the next second, life had abandoned him. His gaze was unpleasant, but his body limp and pale, his clothes painted in red. Now, I just needed to check that he is dead, but checking, for me, has a different meaning than other people's. I do not check his pulse or breathing. Instead, I use another method, much more effective. I stare at his body and move my hands as if directing an orchestra. Mysteriously, blood begins to flow back to him, filling his body again. His heart once more is beating, but this is to check that he has died, not to heal him. It beats abnormally fast. More importantly, his blood pressure raises abnormally high. So high that shortly after his body breaks. It explodes, expelling blood from every orifice: eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and his lethal wound. His internal organs, including his brain and some of his bones break, crushed by the high pressure of the liquid that once gave him life. He is now all crooked and deformed. I silently look at him coldly, feeling nothing, not hate nor pity. Now I'm sure he is not going to return to this world. Oh, damn. Shortly after, I walked back to my house. I didn't know the way back, but I knew that sooner or later I would come to a familiar place if I was looking carefully. I arrive at my home 2 hours later. When the doors opened, my grandmother was there, waiting for me. I'm home, Oba-sama. I say coldly, but with proper respect. My appearance wasn't exactly the best at the time, but that meant good news. Welcome home, Yuki-chan. Before anything else, let me know the result of your work. It was a success. The object was terminated, just as we wanted. I see my grandmother smile with pleasure at my answer. Perfect, Yuki-chan. I am happy that you are so dedicated to the family. Now, you should take a bath and sleep. You must be tired. The maid will help you with that. The maid bows, showing her respect to me. The conversation didn't last long, but it would be a lie to say that I wanted it to be longer. I barely talked to my grandmother, Kazane Aketsu, and when I did, I only said the most essential. Obedient. I followed the instructions of my grandmother, leaving behind everything that happened during the day to be forgotten in silence. Except for one thing. I worry about you. I do not know why, but those words echoed inside me. Just remembering them made my soul feel cold and shake again. Perhaps it wouldn't be so bad to let my hair grow. A doll with long hair looks cuter. I don't really care about that, but maybe there is a shadow out there that does. Time passes slowly but surely. Every day feels the same as the last, boring and uneventful. This colorless world remained the same. However, I felt something was slightly different. The shadows had a little more detail. Yet, what never changed was the fact that I was a doll. A doll was waiting for someone to pick it, waiting possibly for forever. Before I knew it, 5 years have passed since that day. Recently, I changed to a new school. Despite the economic problems that we've had in the last few years, my family still has a fortune in money. and respectable social and political power. That's why my brother and I attend the most recognized private middle school in Momochi. Wearing my new uniform, I sit at my assigned seat and wait for the teacher to enter the classroom as I look through the windows. Something had changed in the way I look, and that was how I now had long hair down my waist, black and with blood red tips. A very strange color, and because of that, I sometimes attracted unwanted attention. I could see it in my faint reflection on the window, ignoring the time and work I had to spend on its care. I liked my new look. There was something in it that made it impossible for me to cut it, even if it was what I would normally call a bother. When the teacher entered, he gave us instructions to stand, one at a time, and introduce ourselves. See, look at that. The blood red tips to the hair. Aketsu Yuki, I say, presenting myself with an emotionless voice when it was my turn. Aketsu? Asked the professor, suddenly, as if he had heard my name wrong, and then stopped looking at his papers to put his attention on me. Yes, that is correct, I say with an empty look in my eyes. Soon, I noticed that reaction on his face. It was disgust, anger, and just by looking at it, I knew he hated my name. Surely my family had done something to him. After all, we were gangsters. We performed many shady businesses, and naturally, there will be collateral damage. Okay, sit down. Who's next? The teacher continued the class as if nothing had happened. But after seeing that look on his face, I knew that it would be one uncomfortable year. Just kill him. Very well. We will start with the oral exam. Aketsu, can you answer the first question in the chalkboard? You mean on the chalk? Okay, guys, it's a typo. You need to fix that. It's supposed to be on the chalkboard. I looked at the question, and I stayed quiet for several seconds with an expressionless face, trying to find an answer. But after a few seconds, it was clear that I could not. I don't know the answer. And why is that, Aketsu? You must surely slack all day. Teacher's trying to be funny at my expense. He had some results, since I can hear the laughter of some of my colleagues. The information was not given in class, nor is it in the book, Sensei. I respond coldly, almost like a machine. Laughs or not, I couldn't be bothered. That is not an excuse, Aketsu. You should investigate it yourself. If you have the time to look outside the window and stare at the flies around you, you should have the time to study more. Once more, the teacher makes a joke out of me, and I hear the laughter of my colleagues, this time louder than before. The shadows had allied against me. I couldn't help but think about that. In my mind, I imagine the teacher disappearing one day. He simply doesn't come back to school anymore. It would be so easy for me to kill him, or to have my grandmother press the school to get him fired. But in reality, I do nothing more than look the other way, not caring about it. Nuisances are like that. They weigh on you at first, but once you are past them, they become nothing, disappearing without a trace. Yes, I hate going to school. I hate how the teacher pours his hate over my family on me. But once the day ends, I don't really remember anything about it. I don't have a mask, therefore, I can't show an angry face, even less a hating one. That same day, I had to clean the classroom as punishment for not studying. I didn't call my family to notify this. I didn't have to. They let me use my time as I pleased, as long as I had no mission to fulfill. So, being obedient, I stayed in the classroom. The lukewarm sunset light enters through the windows. And the bullies. Ah, Yuki-san, so you are here. Suddenly, three girls enter the classroom. I hardly recognize them. I know that they are my classmates, but that's about it. With fiend surprise, one pretends not to know I was being punished. My answer is non-existent. I don't even bother to divert my eyes at them. The girl angrily snorts, ignoring my boring answer. Just kick her ass. Kick her ass, Aketsu. You can do it. She walks toward me until she is just a step away. You know, it is very impolite not to respond when someone is talking to you, she says with an aggressive tone. Cynical, but my answer is still the same. None. Furious, the girl tries to grab my shoulder, but my reaction is faster, and I slap her hand away. My movement was so unexpected that she jumped back slightly, terrified. You're so weird, she says as an insult, yet I fail to see what is wrong with that. It isn't like being the same as everyone else was better. Exactly. The girl looks at me with contempt and then makes a sign with her hands, calling the others to get closer. They surround me and stare with the false expression of amusement on their faces. The situation is tense, threatening, but even then, my eyes remained as the glass eyes of a doll. They couldn't hurt me. Insults, reject, and humiliation meant nothing to me. Who I was, with, who is without a mask and identity. I couldn't care any less, and if they tried to hurt me physically, I could kill them all without any effort. It was nothing but empty threats. You're the best of the class. Your grades are the highest, Aketsu-san, said another girl, talking about a boring subject. Teachers tell me that I should study more. I just listen. Boring answer to a boring question, said with no interest. I hear one of them laughing. My, you sure are a weirdo. No wonder why you have no friends. Was that a comment or an insult? I really couldn't tell the difference, but... Okay, did they mean to put comment, or did you mean to put compliment? I don't know. But I knew that it was true. Here, I have no friends, nor anywhere else. But even if she's such a freak, there are a lot of people who think she's cute. Can you believe that? That's some bad taste. All three of them laughed after that comment, and then, without a warning, two of them grabbed my hands, one on each, not allowing me to move. My face stays inexpressive, but my eyes were now moving at every direction, inspecting my surroundings and attackers. I was trying to identify whether they would do to harm me or just wanted to scare me. Depending on the answer, my reaction would be very different. Then I see the last of them approaching me with a pair of scissors at hand. I remain perfectly still, like a statue. My red eyes reflecting the image of the scissors, opening and closing, as if trying to scare me. The girls grin at me with malice, and takes a lock of my hair. You have very pretty hair, Aketsu-san. Very long and silky. Looks like you take good care of it. I put the like because... You guys forgot that? It would be a shame if somebody... Oops. The girl spoke mockingly as she caressed my hair, like a hunter playing with its prey, and then used the scissors to cut it. I swear. I see my hair fall to the ground. My eyes follow it all the way down, yet even then, no expression appears on my face. I wasn't sure how to feel. Maybe sad. I was losing a part of me, not only in body, but also as a person. But I wasn't sad. I was only confused. Oh, I'm so sorry, Aketsu-san, but don't worry, I'll make sure to even the rest of your hair, she said, then continued cutting my hair while the others laughed. I could not see it, but knew she was cutting it in an irregular way, making me look ugly, as a joke. Ready, my artwork is finished, said the girl when she finished my haircut. But it looks like abstract art, said another girl, followed by the laughter of all. What's with you girls? I think it fits her perfectly. You don't have to thank me, Aketsu-san. This is only a favor as friends. Such sarcastic words and smile. I don't respond with words, but by giving them my best smile. I tilt my head and close my eyes, silently showing them a fake, convincing love. When my eyes open, I see the astonishment in their faces, surprise mixed with horror. If they were making me pass an uncomfortable time, the least I could do is make them uncomfortable as well. Don't forget to clean that up, said the one with the scissors before turning back on me and walking towards the door. The other girls followed her silently. I gaze at my hair on the floor, still feeling confused, silently looking at it for a moment that feels eternal. But in the end, I take my hair and throw it in the trash. That was the only thing left to do. I could not leave it on the floor. After that, I go to the bathroom, take my scissors, and look at myself in the mirror to fix my haircut. Finally, I leave the place a few minutes later. It was a longer punishment than I expected. My hair only barely reaches my shoulders now. I will have to wait for it to grow again. I need a new victim. And this is where I cut you guys off because, haha, I'm just messing with you guys. But yeah, this is the end of the video. I'm sorry to be a downer, but if you guys liked it, you guys want me to, Not even if you guys want me to do it. I'm just gonna do it because I like it. I love this game. But I'm gonna continue doing more of this. Maybe, I don't know, in a few days or something. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But that's the end of the video. If you guys liked it, make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate some comments. I've been feeling down lately. Life's not too easy. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.